I want to talk to you about Chase personal line of credit alternatives for bad credit. So basically, we're having a conversation about Chase, in other words, lenders that pool Experian and that offer you personal lines of credit for bad credit. The first one I want to talk to you here is PNC. So when you think about PNC, think about not a national lender, but you're talking about a regional lender. I mean, there are in a lot of states anyway, 20 to 25 states. This is really great. And PNC actually will qualify you for a personal line of credit. PNC pulls Experian, similar to Chase. And if you have bad credit, you can still qualify, not a problem. The thing when we talk about bad credit is that if you are going to those big banks, you need to have that relationship. We've said this and many shows. And when we talk about relationship, it's just having an existing checking and or savings account, but also have direct deposit flowing into that account, into one of those accounts, okay? So with PNC, when we talk about this personal line of credit, we are talking about like $1,000 all the way to $25,000. You know, you might say, well, this is kind of limited. This is a low amount, but hey, listen, it is still a decent amount. $25,000 is a decent amount. And PNC is not complicating things. They're not asking a lot of questions in terms of use of loan proceeds or use of line of credit proceeds. So if you are looking for a Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative, PNC could be the candidate that could be the lender for you, as long as you actually are in a geography that PNC covers. In other words, you are living in the states that PNC covers. And one thing I want to say also is that with the $1,000 to $25,000 delta, there is actually a lower limit if you live in California. Unfortunately, for regulatory purposes, the maximum line amount in California is $5,000. And there is a minimum draw on this line of credit, this $50. And again, this is totally unsecured, so no collateral is required. And this is kind of cool. So overall, we love this a lot. This is just fantastic. If you have any question, you can actually just reach out to PNC. They're available at 1-877-225-5762. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. through 10 p.m. Eastern. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. We're going to have a great conversation today. U.S. Bank is also another Chase bad credit personal line of credit lender, and U.S. Bank pulls Experian. U.S. Bank is kind of similar to a PNC in terms of geographic, I would say, coverage. It is not a national bank. It is a regional bank, but again, this is a great bank. And so if you have bad credit, you could qualify for a U.S. Bank personal line of credit alternative, but you need to have a great relationship for the last 3 years. 3 years. Because normally, U.S. Bank only approves you if you have a FICO score of 680 or above. But if you don't have a FICO score that high, you need to be with U.S. Bank for the last 3 years, and you need to have direct deposit flowing into your U.S. Bank checking and or savings account for that period. 3 years. That's the only condition whereby you could qualify for a U.S. Bank personal line of credit. And the maximum amount here is $25,000, kind of analogous to what PNC is doing. So when you think about U.S. Bank, think about $1,000 all the way to $25,000, similar to PNC. Now, one thing we love about U.S. Bank overall is that you beyond the personal line of credit for bad credit, you can still actually you have access to a series of credit products, including credit cards. So U.S. Bank has some of the best credit cards in the industry. So you are able to parlay your great relationship with the U.S. Bank into a whole series of credit products, including personal loans, personal lines of credit, personal credit cards, car loans, and so on and so forth. So if you have any question you want to inquire more, call them right now at 1-800-720-2265. You can actually also go to your local branch. And the good thing about this line of credit is that you can apply online, not a problem. You can even check your application status online. This is just fantastic. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about Chase bad credit, personal line of credit alternatives. Fantastic. The third bank I want to share with you is Truist Bank. So Truist, also similar to Chase, pulls Experian, and Truist will qualify you for a personal line of credit, even if you have bad credit. And what we love about Truist is that Truist is much more generous than PNC and US Bank. With Truist, you actually have personal lines of credit that go from $5,000 all the way to $100,000. And there are cases where we have seen that Truist approved a personal line of credit for bad credit all the way to $250,000. But this was before there was Truist, though. That was when you had BB&T and SunTrust. So basically, one of our clients got a SunTrust personal line of credit for up to $250,000. But that's another story for another day. But what I want to say about this personal line of credit is that it is a great Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative lender, because Truist can approve you even if you have a FICO score that is below 569. And you have APRs that actually are decent also. You're looking at 13% minimum. And there's actually no application fee. There's no cash advance fee here. That's just fantastic. And you can apply actually online. Yeah, you can apply in person or you can apply online. Not a problem. So Truist will work with you. If you have any question whatsoever, you can call right now, 1-844-487-8478. Again, the number here is 844-487-8478. We love the flexibility that Truist has. And basically, you can actually apply for an unsecured personal line of credit, or you can say, you know what, I want to reduce the APR even further. So I'm going to collateralize the line of credit. So in this case, you are posting collateral. You are securing the line of credit here. So this is this is great. And Truist also has something called Truist Ready Now credit line that actually gives you overdraft protection from $300 all the way to $7,500. That's just fantastic. We also love the fact that Fifth Third is a great Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative lender. We love the fact that Fifth Third, when you talk about Fifth Third, you are talking about a very generous lender. So Fifth Third will approve you for line of credit amounts that go from $5,000 all the way to, check this out, $100,000. Yeah, you heard it, $100,000. So basically, do you have bad credit? Not a problem. Do you have fair credit? Not a problem. But the only caveat here is that if you want to be approved for a loan amount that goes all the way, for a line amount that goes all the way to $100,000, you need to post up to 10% of verified liquid assets. So basically, Fifth Third is not asking you to collateralize the line of credit. They're not asking you to collateralize it, but they're asking you something similar. In other words, or something related. They're asking to say, listen, show us that you have some liquidity, because $100,000, that's a lot of commitment for us, and we want you to have skin in the game. So they want you to actually also risk something. So when you show them up to 10% of verified liquid assets, they're not going to hold on. They're not going to place a lien on those assets. They just want to see that something is totally possible here. And what we love about this unsecured line of credit here is that you have, besides line amount that go from $5,000 to $100,000, you have a 5-year draw period followed by a 10-year repayment period. So again, we're speaking about flexibility in terms of the repayment period here. And you have APRs that go from 10.75% all the way to 12.25%. So in terms of flexibility, you have a very flexible lender here. Now, Fifth Third is charging you a $65 annual fee to actually keep this unsecured line of credit open. They will waive, as a sign of goodwill, they will waive the fee the first year, but the subsequent years you will have to pay this. So besides the unsecured line of credit, you also have a secured line of credit that you can get through Fifth Third Bank. And here line amounts are even higher. You are talking about 5,000 all the way to $500,000. So this is really great. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternatives. I want to share with you another bank, KeyBank. So KeyBank actually does a great job in terms of offering you a Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative. And with KeyBank here, you are looking at a loan amount that goes from $2,000 all the way to $25,000. Okay, it's kind of similar to PNC and US Bank. So KeyBank is a great lender in terms of customer service. So KeyBank will actually work with you. The APR is kind of interesting. You're looking at 5% all the way to 15%, and there's no annual fee. Unlike what you had with Fifth Third, with KeyBank, there's no annual fee. There is no collateral required. This is an unsecured line of credit. You can borrow up to your loan amount, repay, and borrow again. So if you go to KeyBank, they don't call it personal line of credit. They call it preferred line of credit. So if you hear preferred line of credit at KeyBank, it's the same thing. So besides the preferred line of credit, KeyBank also has what they call Key Basic personal line of credit. Here, the approval amounts are smaller, but this is actually a small revolving credit line that actually helps you in terms of overdraft, but also helps you if you need extra cash real fast, like emergency cash flows. This is really good. It's called the Key Basic personal line of credit. And here we are speaking about $250, so $250 all the way to $5,000. So it is something, it can be helpful. Yeah. But one thing I need to say here is that KeyBank is a geo restricted. So we're talking about a line of credit that is available to customers in Arkansas, Colorado, Connecticut, Idaho, Indiana, Massachusetts, Maine, Minnesota, Michigan. You have New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Utah, Vermont, or Washington State. I want to talk to you about another Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative lender, and that's a BMO Harris. So when you think about BMO Harris, I want you to think about another geo-restricted bank that pulls Experian. And with BMO, you have a lot of flexibility. What we love about BMO in general, even though BMO is none of our top regional players, because BMO is in a fewer states. I think now with the acquisition of what was that bank in the West? Bank of the West, yeah, that bank in California. So BMO recently acquired Bank of the West. So now they are basically expanding their footprint, and hopefully very soon they'll be becoming a bigger bank. But with BMO, the cool thing is that you can actually use a personal line of credit for a lot of things. You can use the cash to build or establish credit, to refinance, to acquire a vehicle, yeah, to consolidate your debt for larger expenses, or from home improvement. This is really good. And BMO is really flexible also in terms of your credit score. So even if you have bad credit, but you do have an existing relationship with the bank, you could still qualify for a personal line of credit. So just start the conversation by calling BMO. So call them at 1-888-340-2265. Again, the number here is 1-888-340-2265, and they'll answer all questions you have. And so they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you get all the answers that you need. Okay, this is really good. One thing I also need to say here is that when you think about BMO Harris personal line of credit, you can be approved all the way to $100,000. So we're speaking about $1,000 all the way to $100,000. This is really great. Again, you can use the cash for nearly anything. This is really great. BMO is so flexible. They'll give you a very low APR. Like that goes all the way to like from 6% all the way to 12 or 13%. Okay, and the repayment window can be like 6 months all the way to 18 months. So that's really fantastic. So overall, BMO is a solid choice for us. Another lender that we love a lot is Regions Bank. So Regions Bank is a great Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative lender. And with Regions, you have a constellation of choices. And Regions is a very generous lender because basically you can be approved for a personal line of credit that goes all the way to $50,000, 50. Imagine that. $50,000, you are really good to go. I mean, the cool thing is that you can actually use the cash for a lot of things, not a problem. Regions is not complicating things for you. They pull experience like Chase and all the other players in today's conversation. But the thing is that with Regions, they actually they will review your let's say your account every now and then, and based on your usage, based on your good behavior or lack thereof, they might increase your limits or reduce it. So what I want to say here is that Regions has a more active role. They take a more active approach when they issue you a personal line of credit. And the cool thing is that you also, so besides the unsecured personal line of credit, you also have a secured line of credit. So you can use a Regions account balance as collateral, or you can also apply for a small line of credit for overdraft protection. So the cool thing is that you can actually get approved for, like, let's say for a credit line that basically goes from like $50 all the way to $500. So you can see here that the range is kind of small. But again, if you are worried about the overdraft protection, you are worried about NSF fees, you're worried about all that, you can just be approved for something like this so that you can cover all the unexpected sort of negative balances that you have in your checking accounts, in your business checking accounts, so or in your personal checking accounts for that matter. So if you close your eyes and you're thinking about a Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternative, think about Regions. Again, Regions also is another geo-restricted bank, so you gotta be in the geography that Regions covers to actually qualify. But hey, listen, we love the fact that Regions is very generous, because whereas the other players are approving you for maximum line amount of $25,000, Regions, they just are doubling everything. So this is really good. So overall, a fantastic offer. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I want to quickly recap today's conversation. So I was talking to you about Chase bad credit personal line of credit alternatives. So number 1, PNC. Number 2, US Bank. Number 3, Truist Bank. Number 4, Fifth Third Bank. Number 5, Key Bank. Number 6, BMO Harris. Number 7, Regions Bank. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.